Hey guys, welcome back to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1979 Japanese supernatural fantasy film Demon Pond, or Yashiga Ike. This is a film by director Masahiro Shinoda. Shinoda is known for such films as Pale Flower, Samurai Spy. He did an earlier adaptation of Silence, the movie that was, or the source material that was later adapted by Martin Scorsese in 2016. He also directed a movie called Double Suicide, which I did watch for this channel. I just have not gotten to editing that video yet. It's just taken a long backseat. But anyways, I was interested to check out Demon Pond. Apparently it's well, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it, but I checked out some images of it. Apparently it got a remaster recently in like 2017, so I figured I'd check it out. So yeah, let's do it. And before I get started, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. Summer of 1933. Also, this was adapted in, I think, like 1996 into another film by Takashi Miike. Maybe it was 2002, I think. Yashiga Ike. And with a couple of the Shinoda films I've seen, water takes a very large position in the foreground. Water dominates the kind of culture of our marriage and of silence. Or maybe he's just like a scientist, a biologist, a botanist, wherever, and he wants to find this specific pond to study its ecology. God. Just amazing pre-modern Japanese architecture. These giant thatched huts. Oh, okay. Well, hi. Demo. It's not frightening at all. Such explosive colors in some of these Japanese films. Definitely thinking this and Quite On. How beautifully warm and saturated the sunset feels. like Kaidan, the woman with her head turned. The kind of mystery of the woman, the supernatural woman. I love this constant obscuring of the woman's looks. And the final reveal of her face. I don't know if it's bringing this up, but is Demon Pond a trans narrative? Okay, oh my god, so I spoiled myself a little. I questioned whether or not this was a trans narrative, just because Japanese culture is very, very different from, American or Western culture. So this performer, Tamasabaru Bando, he's playing the scholar and the woman. He was apparently a very famous Kabuki actor of his time, and he specialized in onagata, playing female roles in Kabuki theater or plays. So we I don't know if you've seen this, but this is a tradition that was previously seen in like the 1953 movie, An Actor's Revenge. Do I still have that on me? Well, if I do have it, it's somewhere down there, and I'm not going to dig all the way through that. But An Actor's Revenge also features it features a male performer that constantly performs in Onagata, and he 1963, not 53. He dons the Kazuo Hasegawa. He dons the mannerisms and behaviors of the female role that he plays throughout, and that kind of helps um, kind of ingratiate him into the Japanese society, into the upper echelons of the society, and he kind of blends these different aspects, the kind of seductive aspects or the demure aspects of his feminine identity, along with the kind of um, physical attributes of his masculinity, as well as the masculine desire for revenge and plotting that he does in that movie. But yeah, great revelation of actor Tamasabaru Bando. Oh, they're not the same performer. So who else is Tamasabaru Bando playing? He's doing great vocal work.
ご覧の通り学校に勤める身で初中休暇の見物学問というやつです。もっとももう帰り道ですが落ち着く先は京都です。
He's praying his name over and over again. This guy's got a crush. Oh, with the moon. Oh my gosh. Some of the compositions too actually remind me a bit of also of An Actor's Revenge, which uses a lot of negative space. A lot of the scenes take place at nighttime or in the dark, and they only light the figures in that space, and otherwise it's just pitch black. There were a couple of these compositions, if I remember correctly, in Double Suicide. A lot of kind of frames within frames, and also kind of splitting characters, utilizing the Japanese sliding doors. Wow, she's actually crying. He's actually crying.
Yeah.
Did you see that teardrop? Yeah, this composition is very familiar to me from Double Suicide. An extreme foreground and character in the background, kind of like a De Palma shot. Yeah, I love how twisted and gnarly and kind of off-center the forest is being portrayed as. A lot of the compositions for the towns is very stable and symmetrical. Oh no. Yeah, and you see how in the indoor settings and the kind of human world, it's very structured and divided in straight lines. Oh wow. Just incredible shots. Conveying so much mystery. I love the ways they find of splitting up her face. Oh, I just love the tempo that Yuri takes, just completely different from everybody else. Oh boy. I didn't realize this is a furry movie. And like Alien, the same year? It's obscuring the actual reveal of the makeup and the prosthetics until as late as possible. Oh god. It's resplendent. Come on. This is Queen Amidala. George Lucas definitely watched Demon Pond. He's a weeaboo. Use your own pale radiance. It suddenly got very, very stagey. Maybe it's the Kabuki influence, but it's really fun to see this kind of differentiation in styles. He can really hit those higher registers. I'm shocked by Bando's performance.
またそのようなわがままを仰せになります。今お前様がお座をお移しなされば、たちまちに村里には水があふれ、幾万幾千の生類の命を絶たねばなりません。恨めしい。あの金さえなかったら、金さえなくば誓いもあるまい。都へ。
So I think this is the dual role that Tamasabaru Bando is playing. I was under the assumption that Yuri is the demon pond princess, the dragon princess, and she might not be. Wow. He's going for it. I wonder how like intensive and how long the process is of like training for Kabuki theater, and specifically, I guess, for this Onagata kind of role. Oh! This was also an idea expressed in Double Suicide of like insane, quite stupid love. And I guess the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful foolish love is whether or not it's somebody of high birth or low. I also like, in contrast, the performance of the Dragon Princess and Yuri, how slow and still and like small the performance of Yuri is, and how striking and fast and arch the performance of the Dragon Princess is, following a very kind of projective Kabuki kind of style, theatrical style. Does she have a fucking wand? Yeah, so Bando is playing both the Dragon Princess and Yuri. Hate that kappa. That's such a great shot. Did they do that with a double exposure? You can kind of see the little bit of the maybe blue screen or whatever behind Bando, behind like the collar of Yuri. In the absence of her lover. It's a beautiful expression of the kind of pledge that of Yuri remembering this pledge when everyone else has forgotten, when Akira is forgotten, when the townsfolk have forgotten. Everybody's so like self-obsessed and self-concerned, and Yuri is the only one thinking of everybody's safety and everybody's best interests. What a beautiful, beautiful image. Oh my gosh. This slow wind that's blowing, emanating from the bell. Oh. the kind of hypnotic elements to this. Weird comparison, but I kind of think of like Antichrist, because I always bring up Antichrist. But a similar kind of slowness, similar kind of descent into nature, folding yourself into the natural world, as simultaneously not peaceful, not threatening, but just an otherness, something that is so highly divorced from human concepts, human understanding. Just wow. Just wow.
打ち明けたところ他は構わん。
But I would have to save
この
her.
娘の命もあるまい。
Hot. That's some Fitzwilliam Darcy action. We're seeing a sex scene? How loud is this?
逃げだ。今こそ逃げが必要だ。
This is a diet member.
逃げだ。ヤシャガイ家の龍神に雨乞いの生贄を捧げるのだ。生贄でござる。
Nobody asked for this, guys. Nobody asked for this. Do not sacrifice Yuri. Yuri's the only reason that Hagiwara is ringing the bell. You guys are so dumb. You have no idea. Oh my god. I could see it coming already. They're so dumb. Oh my god. Well, good thing Yuri isn't. There is an underlying undercurrent of like misogyny in this movie. And I don't know how intentional it is, but there's a question of like the disposability of women. Like there's the conflict between Hagiwara and Yamazaki implicitly over Yuri. There's a kind of fear of the villagers over Yuri, or the fact that she's an orphan, they kind of discard her and don't take care of her. And they suspect her of being supernatural in the same way that Yamazaki does. So there's this kind of weird disconnect that happens, that in the supernatural world, her virtue, her beauty is recognized and appreciated by the supernatural world, by all of the spirits, by the Dragon Princess, and it's also acknowledged in the human world, but it is responded to with kind of spite or retribution or repugnancy. All these villagers and the men like covet Yuri's beauty, but if they're unable to possess it, they turn spiteful against it. So we got like a Beauty and the Beast kind of situation. Well, they're gonna get an end to that drought that they wanted. It's like a dramatic irony that the villagers, that the society thinks that they must make a sacrifice in order to appease the gods, and the sacrifice they end up making is the only member of that society that the gods actually venerate. Isn't that just society? Isn't that just climate change? And it's kind of like a condemnation of like religious institutions, that this Shinto priest is just making suppositions about sacrifice that was suggested by the diet member, and the Shinto priest has no connection with the supernatural world in the same way that Yuri is shown to have. That escalated quickly. I still can't believe this is a man. Just what a spellbinding performance. One bowl of rice each from a member of the Japanese parliament, and they go crazy. It's just so stupid how suggestible fucking people are. If there's something that people love portraying, stories love portraying about small towns is that they can mob up real quick.
君たちは何をしている。2年続きの日照りです。干ばつです。一滴の雨といえども千金。
And again, human beings prove the Dragon Princess's point that human beings break oaths easily, break pledges, don't take anything with a grain of solemnity or a grain of reverence, and treat anything as discardable, even human life, in order to preserve human life.
金をお付けになるのを。ゆりさん、行こう。支度がいるか。果たして来い。茨の道はおぶって通る。おいおい、まずい。まずいこら。その女は。
Yeah, she's not property. And we see an earlier kind of iteration on this idea of women as servants, women as property or objects, with the woman in the town when Yamazaki had a speck in his eye, that she was expected to serve him to the degree of putting her breast milk in his eye, that her body was like an instrument for male usage. Come on, Hagiwara, you gotta be the one that walks away from Demon Pond.
8000人がどうした。神にも仏にも恋は売らない。
In a weird way, this story does feel like congruent to Beauty and the Beast. I think I'll talk about this later after the movie ends.
俺らぞ、構造は村はもとよりここにいる。いつ来ても生命を捨てられるのじゃ。
Sure you would. Shinoda desperately suspicious of, as with many directors, Japanese directors of this era, horrendously suspicious of Japanese government members and their ability to manipulate average citizens using propaganda and using an inflated sense of nationalism. Look at all these institutions failing around him. The diet, the Shinto priest, the teacher. All of them are failing to meet this challenge. And it's the storyteller or the historian who's the only one who kind of understands the real answer, because he has a record of the past. A kind of message for a Japanese society or culture that tries desperately to move on from the sins of the past, from the defeat, from the humiliation of the Second World War. A Japanese society that prays for abundance. It truly is a story of climate change. A historian and a scholar battle people who are trying to rush the apocalypse. Don't do it this way. Just cut your neck open, not across your stomach. Oh my god, those spirits are gonna rage. Break the bell. That's no good. That's no good. Oh, how are they gonna do this? Well, you know, it's the 70s. What are you gonna do? it's fine. I mean, that looks brilliant. That looks great. But the actual calling of the apocalypse. That's a way to end a movie. None of these fucking half measures. Just kill the world. These are the risks that Japanese cinema is willing to take. This is our Princess Mononoke ending. This is like the true apocalypse raining down. Oh my god. It's ingrained in Japanese society from being a nation that was carpet bombed, a nation that was struck by the atomic bomb, the willingness to end a narrative with complete destruction. It comes from this being a part of their history. And I applaud them for this kind of artistic statement. There are some acts in human history that can't be denied, that can't be sanitized, that can't be boulderized. When something happens to your society and to you as a member of that society, as large as World War II, and defeat in World War II, and your complicity in World War II, that permeates through into the stories that you're able to tell. These are the sort of thoughts that invade your mind when you become a filmmaker. I'll finally be able to shoot all the people that I hate getting their just desserts. And now the gods and spirits get to play as much as they'd like. We don't have to concern ourselves with them anymore. See you in the next life. See you, Space Cowboy. And I think that's also just like a beautiful idea conjured about the supernatural world, or the world that's outside of our understanding, that it is as great and powerful and devastating as a flood, but it also does possess that beauty of the image of the spirits ascending to the heavens, or, you know, taking a trip to Kenganine. And at the end, the only thing he can do is prostrate himself. Whew. That turned out to be a really great little fairy tale, but just like rife with beautiful imagery and a lot of kind of things to think about, and like really kind of significant parallels or readings that you can overlay onto the text of this story. Yeah, reading into it, and it's fun. It's amazing because this is in 1913, far before World War II. But you could the same kind of anxieties about mass destruction, about human folly, you could superimpose Japanese history and its coming to terms with World War II and with the devastation and fallout that came of that. Modern viewers could definitely read the climate change story into this. There's definitely stories about gender roles and misogyny, and I think there's a kind of parallel text that's going on with this story and with Beauty and the Beast, for example, like this story of like this enchanted castle or this enchanted pond, and these townsfolk that are kind of agnostic to it, that don't recognize the power of the supernatural or the otherworldly. And in terms of kind of, I don't want to say this is like a true comparison between this and the actual story of Beauty and the Beast, because I don't really know the story, the Perot rendition of Beauty and the Beast that well. But in comparison to the 1993, 94, 1992, the Disney adaptation of Beauty and the Beast, I think this tells a story of a similar story of this town and these people commoditizing and fetishizing femininity and the enchanted or the supernatural, like respecting and venerating femininity. And the kind of switch of the story is this one character, the Beast in the Disney version and Hagiwara in this version, recognizing value or the sanctity of life of the female character, beyond fetishizing them, beyond commoditizing them. In the end, both the Beast and Hagiwara are willing to sacrifice their own life in order to preserve the life of the woman. And it works out for the Beast and it doesn't work out for Hagiwara. But I do think that there's kind of a transference that happens where in this very kind of masculine dominated society, Hagiwara eventually recognizes that Yuri's life and Yuri's well-being is worth more to him than his own life. Yeah, I think this is a really kind of resonant story in terms of mankind's folly and the next great disaster that'll be caused by mankind. I think that's why you can read the World War II narrative onto this, and as well as why you can read the climate change narrative onto this. Like, human beings just cycle through follies over and over again, and in progressively widening gyres of ecological, worldly impact, and it just gets more and more frightening every time the story is told, and it happens to end the exact same way. But perhaps the other way that this ends is not as dramatic, and maybe that's why we don't tell as many stories of it. Yeah, but yeah, a great work of art, just like sensationally artistic, sensationally thrilling and captivating. A huge condemnation on large swaths of Japanese society, of organized institutions of Japanese society, and a tremendous performance by Tamasaburo, Tamasaburo, Tamasaburo Bando. Yeah, check out Demon Pond if you haven't seen it before. I mean, I doubt you have, but there's a restoration of it that's been floating around. There's a lower res version of it that you could find on Rare Film if that's something that piques your interests. Give it a look, see what you feel about it. I might check out the Takashi Miike adaptation of this. I've been having a harder time finding it, but if I do, let's take a look. Let me know what you think of Demon Pond, and don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. And until next time, keep watching good movies. I always love the fairy tale ones on this channel. They usually turn out okay.